Hey brothers and sisters, welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. I'm kneeling down looking up, somewhat up at my largest nano tank. It's a 15-gallon Fluval F series. I've featured this numerous times. It predominantly houses tetras, all different kinds. You see a group of albino tetras, or excuse me, albino neons. You see regular neons. In the back are ember tetras. There's a brass tetra or gold tetra. So big on a community of tetras. And then here right in front is a fat and happy pufferfish. Actually, he could be fatter. But I've had him for quite some time, and I'm almost sure he does not have a parasite. It's just his body type, not round. Perhaps it's the male. I can see distinct yellow markings which would indicate a male, as well as some other factors including the body type. Forgive the reflection. I just want to give you guys the overall view because it's a really beautiful tank. This would be a good feature tank in anybody's home under any sort of aesthetic, I suppose, except for old and Victorian. But what fish tank really works with that scheme? Actually, I could show you one, but it's currently in storage from the 1920s. So, in this tank, lots of common plants that grow really well under all sorts of conditions. While I have a nice array of light, I don't have anything too terribly exotic in here. I suppose these crypts down here, which are doing reasonably well. You see some yellow. They come and they go, but they don't get weaker, and new ones do sprout up when those leaves yellow. And then I have a whole bunch of Java fern that pretty much creates the downward slope from left to right. One different crypt variety there that's hanging in used to be a lot more robust, but at the front of the tank I really don't want an obscuring kind of plant, so I think I put that in there from another tank, and so I'm fine with the growth that it's showing. Up top I have some large leaf frog bit. Now the thing about this plant is it does not like current on the top, and while you don't see a lot of it here, they tend to be tossed around. And so this plant, while it will grow new leaves, it yellows and dies. Eventually I just pull these out when I see that the roots aren't feathering and fuzzy like this and no longer drawing significant nutrient from the water. I just pull them and replace them with others that are already overtaking my other tank. So it kind of works out okay because I like having the frog bit up here. It just doesn't do profoundly well in this tank. What does do well is the community of tetras. These fish are all middle-aged to old age. That's why they're kind of big and slow-moving. That, and there's a lot of population. So with a larger population and this much density, they tend not to be as active as you might see in some kinds of tanks. Minimalist tanks, you'll see the tetras shooting back and forth. And when they're more densely populated and there's a lot more plant and wood growth, they display differently, they behave differently. I'm not sure they're any less healthy, but here we are. So there's a lot of ember tetras in the background. These are really a beautiful, simple fish, $2.99 a piece, generally speaking, even cheaper I've seen. And they group tightly together, and they're a lovely addition to just about any tank, frankly. There's my Mr. Puffer, boing, and I've also got a whole bunch of catfish, and then a beast, this Siamese algae eater, which just has grown humongous, but good luck catching him. I'll never be able to do that. So he's too big for this tank, but I can't catch him. I put him in when they were little. There was a group of 3. 2 of them are still here, and they would eat the algae, which, you know, of all my tanks, this one gets the most. And so something like these algae eaters are pretty damn good for dealing with that. And so my algae problem is acceptable. It's not really a problem. It's just as you would expect for a tank that will get its share of sunlight, although it's indirect, plus a high light from the nano, and high density, which puts nutrients in the water. So I do love this tank. It's the only aquarium I have that uses a canister filter. This is the 106 Fluval, and it works like a dream. You don't even hear it, right? But it's working, and it's pretty easy to clean as well. So other than that, the kit comes with pretty much everything you see here. There's a heater and all the apparatus for the filter and the lighting. And I do run CO2 in this tank, but frankly it's not necessary. I hardly do a bubble at all. Mostly it was in there to try to get some life out of the valves in the back. You see a group of them. They hang in there. I wanted them to frame the back of the tank, and that's not really happening, but honestly, with all the Java fern reaching the surface, it kind of sort of doesn't matter. So that's it for now. If you've got any comments, hit me up, let me know. I'd love to hear from you, and as always, keep your hands in the tank. Ciao for now.